What's good, fam? So, peep this. Tyler, the creator, just dropped his new album, Don't Tap the Glass, out of nowhere on July 21st, 2025. No hype, no singles, just straight up surprise. I'm talking about the kind of drop that caught the whole culture slipping. And if you know Tyler, that's kind of his signature move, keeping us guessing and never following the usual rules when it comes to how he puts out music. But this time, he really flexed the unexpected on us hard. Now, I ain't even kidding. This album ain't like your typical run-of-the-mill project. This one feels different, more wild, like Tyler just pressed record and let the vibe ride wherever it went. There's no polished package, no radio-friendly formula. He's leaning all the way into spontaneous artistic chaos. What makes this even mad interesting is Tyler himself called it made for movement and said it's supposed to be played at full volume. That's not just some promo talk. That's him telling you this is an experience, not just background noise. You gotta turn it up, feel the bass hit your chest, and let it run through you like some kind of sonic energy. Tyler's trying to create a moment, not just some tracks for the playlist. And honestly, that whole vibe, it's a major W for fans who've been waiting on him to switch up the game again. Because we're talking more raw, more impulsive, and straight up living the moment energy here. No overthinking, just pure expression. Now, the album's got 10 tracks, but here's the kicker. There were no singles leading up to the drop. Normally, artists drip feed singles like breadcrumbs out the gate. But Tyler flipped the script, didn't let a single track sneak out early for the clout chase or for streaming numbers. I'm telling you, this creates a real sense of mystery and lets the whole album hit without distractions or expectations locked in. When you listen, you're getting the full vibe first time out. The entire package, raw and untouched by preconceptions. Musically, Don't Tap the Glass is a straight fusion of sounds. We got beats that bump with hip-hop roots, but then curves into dance, dips into house, and sprinkles funk throughout like the secret sauce. It's wild because Tyler's always been about bending genres, but this project feels more like a vibe board for his creativity. He's flexing all his musical muscles without worrying about fitting into no box. You hear those electronic layers, heavy bass lines, and experimental rhythms that mesh with his signature rough around the edges, vocals and flows as a genre blender. And honestly, that's what sets Tyler apart from a lot of cats still stuck playing it safe. This album feels like a free zone where he just experiments with fresh sounds and lets the art speak itself. But the rollout, now that was something else. Tyler showed off his creative genius beyond the music with wild promotional tactics. We talking about art installations set up at the Barclays Center and even the World Trade Center. Yeah, real life interactive spaces that had fans buzzing, trying to decode the visual and cryptic messages at these spots. Not to mention he dropped some exclusive merch that had people lined up, and the official album website was littered with hidden clues and eerie designs, making the whole rollout feel like a scavenger hunt. No boring promos, no standard social media countdowns, just him flexing artistic influence on every level. You couldn't ignore the buzz. People were gathering info and theories like detectives trying to crack a code. Clever? Definitely. Extra? Very. Now, with all this hype, the fan reactions have been straight up wild. Social's been popping with theories about who might be on the album, what Tyler's direction really means, and how this fits into his artistic legacy. Folks speculating on collaborations that might have snuck in, or if certain tracks hint at some deep personal stuff Tyler usually keeps under wraps. And here's the thing, Tyler has been low-key addressing the speculation, but mainly to say he wants the music to speak for itself. He ain't trying to influence how people feel before they even hit play. He wants listeners to catch the vibe fresh with no biases or expectations. That kind of move, it shows how confident he is in his work and how he wants to engage fans in a pure, unfiltered way. No distractions, just that sonic energy. But trust me, what the fans are cooking up about this album is only just the beginning. Before we move on though, if you're vibing with this breakdown so far, make sure you smash that like button and hit subscribe. We keeping it 100 every time, diving deep into artist moves and the stories behind the music you gotta hear. You don't want to miss what's coming next, because it only gets deeper from here. All right, let's talk about Tyler's journey to this point. This album doesn't just come out the blue. It's part of a bigger evolution. If you trace Tyler's roots back to the Odd Future days, you see he started as this rebellious voice in underground hip hop, wild and raw, never playing by the rules. Over the years, he leveled up into a full-on multifaceted artist, rapping, producing, designing fashion, directing videos. He's been building a whole empire. Don't Tap the Glass shows us a side of Tyler that's less polished and more impulsive, kind of like he's stripping back the layers and just letting the raw creativity flow without a big plan anymore. That's a big shift from albums like Chromacopia, which had a more structured, cinematic vibe to the sound and storytelling. This new project feels like a snapshot of Tyler's current mindset, Less about perfection, more about energy, freedom, and movement. And y'all, that raw energy is something special. You can almost hear Tyler having fun with the music, not stressed about chart positions or awards, but just expressing himself. It reminds you why we first fell in love with his unpredictability and distinct style. Plus, this album kind of challenges listeners to let go too. Don't overthink what you're hearing, just feel it, move to it, make it your own. In a way, Tyler's telling us to trust the process and embrace the messy creativity that comes with real artistry. And believe me, this isn't the last we're going to hear about Don't Tap the Glass. There's layers here waiting to be peeled back, and I'm hyped to see what Tyler cooks up next. Whether that means tour moves, more merch drops, or even some collaborations that could shake things up even further. So stick around, because what's coming next might just change how you see Tyler, the creator, forever. Now, real talk, when you think about Tyler and his place in the game, it's wild how he keeps flipping the script. Dude isn't sitting comfy riding a wave. He's out here creating new ones every time. Don't Tap the Glass ain't just another album drop, it's a statement. It's like Tyler's telling us that music don't gotta be neat or predictable to be impactful. Sometimes it's the chaos and rawness that hit hardest. And honestly, that approach opens up space for all kinds of expression that usually gets boxed out in mainstream sounds. Speaking of expression, one thing I gotta highlight is how Tyler's playing with sound textures on this project. The mix of house beats with funky grooves and hip-hop flows creates a kind of tension and release that you don't hear every day, and that tension pulls you in, making you want to rewind and break down what you just heard. Plus, his vocal style jumps between smooth croons and edgy raps like he's throwing different emotional punches. It's almost like the album wants you to engage in a full-on sensory experience, not just a soundtrack for your day, but something you immerse yourself in. I bet this vibe will have folks rethinking what a hip-hop album can even sound like. But yo, the artistry don't stop at the music. The visuals and overall aesthetic, Tyler been flexing with this drop, sheesh, it's next level. The installations at Barclays and the World Trade Center weren't just hype machines, they were interactive art spaces designed to reflect the album's mood. You could see the messy, colorful energy Tyler wanted to share physically taking shape. The cryptic messages and bold design choices weren't just random, they were part of a bigger puzzle, a way to get fans thinking and feeling the same creative chaos the music delivers. That kind of 360-degree approach to art keeps him way ahead of the culture curve, and it makes you realize you're not just a consumer of the music, but a participant in the whole experience. Now, this leads me to a question I've been asking myself since the drop. What would Tyler's world look like if more artists embraced this unfiltered, impulsive creativity? So many creators out here stressing over brand rounds of approval or trying to hit trending sounds. Tyler's saying nah to all that. It's a power move to throw honesty and raw feeling out there, unapologetically, and it's proof that the audience craves authenticity more than perfection. If more of the game leaned into this kind of bold experimentation, who knows what kind of heat we'd get. Feels like Tyler's guiding us toward a future where music is less about formulas and more about moments that move you in real time. And don't sleep on how this album might influence the live scene too. When Tyler calls this made for movement and demands it be heard at full volume, imagine how the show's gonna feel. No chill, no holding back, just pure energy storms that leave the crowd breathless. I'm talking a vibe so infectious it transforms the way you see concerts. It's a reminder that an album ain't just about streaming numbers or charts. It's about creating moments people live for, moments that hit their soul. And if Tyler plays this right on tour or through pop-up events, he's gonna turn listening into a full-on lifestyle, a shared expression of freedom and chaotic joy. Real quick, we gotta talk about the curiosity factor too. Tyler intentionally left a lot open-ended with this project. No singles, no big headliner features teased, cryptic promos everywhere. That's a power move on his part because it forces people to listen without bias, without forming ideas before peeping the full picture. It's like he's saying, yo, stop trying to own the narrative, just experience it raw. And fans responded big time, creating theories and dissecting every lyric and beat, trying to crack codes that may or may not be there. That alive engagement, that communal curiosity is exactly the kind of cultural impact artists dream about but rarely pull off. Tyler did it without begging for attention or following a formula. It's just straight up magnetic energy. Now peep this, despite the wild rollout and genre-bending sound, there's a very human core underneath it all. The rawness, the impulsiveness, the refusal to fit neatly into one category, it all tells a story about Tyler's own mindset right now. He's out here embracing imperfection, embracing the messy grind of creativity, and showing that it's okay to let go of control sometimes. That message, that's bigger than music. It hits on life, on being young and feeling your way through the chaos. And it's a reminder that real growth ain't clean or easy. It's a series of bold moves into the unknown. Tyler's sharing that journey with us, inviting us to join in the chaos instead of shying away. So, by now you probably got your favorite track spun a few times, right? Whether it's a bass heavy banger or a quirky vibe switch up, this album asks you to show up fully. No phone distractions, no half listens. Tyler's not just asking for your ears, he wants your whole energy tuned in. That's bold, and it's why Don't Tap the Glass is more than just a set of songs. It's a whole vibe, a movement, and a challenge. Will you accept it? Before I bounce, let me throw it back to y'all. You been feeling this album, or what? Which tracks got you hyped, and which ones got you thinking? How you interpreting Tyler's choice to go so raw and unfiltered? Drop your thoughts in the comments, cause I'm trying to hear the real talk from the squad. And listen, if this deep dive got you vibing, make sure you tap that like button and subscribe, cause we ain't stopping here. We got more heat coming through, breaking down the stories behind the music that's shaking the culture. Trust me, you don't want to sleep on what's next. Tyler's proving once again that the W is in the wild moves, the unexpected drops, and the fearless creativity. Don't Tap the Glass ain't just some album. It's an invitation to move, feel, and break free. So turn it up loud, let it run through you, and keep it locked here for all the insight on the music and culture moves that shape the game. Much love for riding through this with me. Catch you on the flip side.